Hi, my name is Thomas Dent. I'm the president of TDT Moving Systems and the inventor of the shoulder dolly. Today we're going to show you how to properly use the shoulder dolly heavy-duty moving system. So I'm going to start by showing you how to put the harnesses on. Each set comes with 2 harnesses, and they just go on like a vest around the shoulders just like this. You've got a chest buckle that you snap. One of the most common mistakes people make is they'll try to tighten this chest buckle up, and you don't want to do that. You want this to lay loose. It's just simply there to keep the harness on. So you should have an X pattern here like this with plenty of slack on that chest buckle, and there's triangles that should be down around the waist area. Another common mistake people will make when they first get the shoulder dolly heavy duty is they'll try to pull and adjust these all the way up to where the buckles are up by their chest. That's going to make things very uncomfortable. You don't want to have them up here. You want the buckles to be near the waist area, probably just below the belt line is best in terms of comfort. So now what we're going to show you is when you initially get the system, you may have to put the carabiners in the buckles. And you're only really going to have to do this one time. Once you get this stuff together, it's going to be the way that you want it from then on. But it's very simple. Basically, you just take your carabiner, come from the inside here like this, roll it around so that the inside top is going to open. That's what's going to make it the easiest way for you to get in and out later with the harnesses. And you want the carabiners to open on the inside, on the top. That's going to be what makes it easiest for you later on to come in and out of the harnesses. The carabiner should never come back off of these buckles. So as you can see, these carabiners have little spinner locks on them. So if they're spun up too much, you're not going to be able to open the carabiner. So you just simply can spin it down, and then you'll be able to open the carabiner like this. So now all you're basically going to do is take these triangles and put them into each carabiner. It's very simple to do. They open from the top. Triangle comes in. Should look like that. And every time you come in and out of the harness, you're going to leave the carabiners on the buckle. Come out just like that. The threading of the webbing is very easy to do. As you can see, there's a gap. There's 2 bars on the bottom and 1 on the top. I'm going to come from behind through that gap like that. Bring my webbing up about 6 inches or a foot or so, and lift the bar, and then I'm going to come back down and go through that gap that I've created. Pull down. Now the buckle's threaded correctly. All of my adjustment is going to be made by either pulling from the front or the back and holding the buckle horizontal so that the slide bar can move back and forth. Whenever we lift, these are going to lock all by themselves. As you can see, we got a dryer here. One of the most common mistakes that people make with the shoulder dolly is when they get it, they'll get very excited and they'll go try to move the heaviest piece they have right away. You don't want to do that. The shoulder dolly is technique over strength. So you want to start with something light like this. You're going to learn the technique very quickly and easily, and then you can move up to heavier pieces later. So with the dryer, you just simply, with the piece, whatever piece you're going to lift, you just put your foot behind it. Each person grabs the webbing where it's right next to the piece, and you pull away from each other so the webbing's tight. You tip the piece, get your webbing to wherever the center of weight is. Now if this was front heavy, we'd have the webbing closer to the front. One of the advantages of a one-strap system is you can put that strap exactly where the center of weight is. So we come down here, we'll adjust our webbing, and what we're going to do is if we got a lot of slack like you often have with small pieces, is we'll take that and we'll fold about half of it over the top of the buckle. I'll even sometimes double fold it and kind of push it down between those carabiners. That'll keep the webbing out of the way of your feet when you're carrying things. Put your hands directly in front of your shoulders. And the one thing, this is very important, when people lean forward, oftentimes this harness may tend to drift forward and be touching their neck. Make sure the harness is not on your neck or it's going to be uncomfortable. So right before you lift, rotate it back. Make sure there's slack so it's not tight. And get that harness so it's not touching the back of your neck. And then you put your hands in front of your shoulders and you stand up just like that. Push away. We can walk wherever we want to now. When you set the piece down, you simply take your webbing out, turn your buckle horizontal. One person can release to the other. Or if the piece wasn't off the ground, you would both simply just have tipped the piece again and brought the webbing out. So as you can see, we got a bigger piece here. Our harnesses are on. We've got everything near the waist area like it's supposed to be. The webbing's threaded through the buckles. These buckles will adjust for differences in the height of the people, the size of the piece, and how high you want it off the ground. All three of those things. This is a long piece. We're only going to have to lift this an inch off the ground because we don't have to take it up any stairs or anything, and it's a nice tall piece. So we're going to do our tip. You put your foot behind the piece, bring that arm across, grab the webbing, grab right next to the bottom of the piece, pull away from each other so it's tight, tip your piece, and bring the webbing right to the center of balance. Most things are going to be right in the middle. We're just going to show you a shallow squat. So you just adjust a few inches, maybe 5 inches or so. Put your hands on the corners of the piece right in front of your shoulders. Push away a little bit and stand up. And now you can walk away. One of the most common mistakes that people will make with the shoulder dolly when they first get it is called a swing issue. And we'll get that because either they've got the harness too far forward on the neck, or because they're swinging their hips. If you're swinging at all, the webbing's going to swing, it's going to cause the piece to swing, and you're going to be fighting the piece. You don't want to do that. So always make sure the harness is not touching the back of the neck. Chris and I are going to get our tip here. We're going to show that you don't have to do the deep squat again. We'll just do a medium squat, Chris. So we'll go down about a foot or so. Put our hands in front of our shoulders. Look around the front at each other. Make sure we're even. Stand up. Now the swing issue, if you swing your hips, it would start swinging the piece. So in order to stop and not do that, what you want to do is to just push away from the piece, take nice big steps, and don't swing the hips or the shoulders. Now what we're going to show you is the stair application with the shoulder dolly. Stairs are really one of the best things about the shoulder dolly when you understand the technique. There's a couple of common mistakes that people make that we're going to show you right now to help you avoid them. You get your webbing under, obviously. The first common mistake that people make is simply not getting the piece high enough off the ground, which we'll show you right now. They just do their squat, but they don't do a deep squat, meaning they don't get the piece that high off of the ground. So they get to the stairs, they go up a couple of stairs, and it starts crowding the top person's feet. That makes it difficult to go up and down stairs, and when you get to the top of the stairs, you may even bottom out on the top stair. So you want to make sure that you have a nice deep squat for stairs. That means get the piece very high off the ground. Squat really, really deep. Pull on that webbing, get your buckle real close to the piece, and just get all that webbing through there. Fold over your slack like we showed you before. Okay, and get the piece nice and high off the ground. Now another common mistake people will make on stairs is they'll have their hands too high on the piece, or they'll be pushing up with their arms. And what that's going to do is literally make the piece slide on the webbing and level out as you go up. You don't want the piece to level out because it's going to start crowding the top person's feet, and when you get to the top of the stairs, it's not going to be level. So to avoid that, what you want to do is you simply want to have your hands lower on the piece and just make sure that you're not pushing up with your arms, that you're pushing out. So Chris is going up, and I've got my arms locked out on the bottom. The top person is just simply trying not to swing their hips side to side and going up the stairs as smoothly as possible. See how the dryer was nice and level around that tight corner there. Well, now we've shown you the proper way to use the Shoulder Dolly heavy-duty moving system. If you have any additional questions, feel free to call us at the 800 number. It's 800-217-1114. And also feel free to visit the website at www.shoulderdolly.com.